This is Co-op HD1 HD3 Hornsby, radio for people, not for profit. Welcome to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Each week, we explore how your library is more than books. The library is knowledge, technology, and inspiration for our community. Welcome, listeners. I'm Kanya Lyons. Thank you for joining us today. We are so excited that Volumes is going to reach a wider audience in our new time slot every Wednesday at 2:30 right here on Co-op Community Radio, 91.7 FM, and streaming at koop.org. As always, we're here to talk about the library and the hardworking people at the library. Today on the show, we have Frida Garcia, who works at the Ruiz Branch, and stopped in to talk about technology and computer help at the library. We also have Lance Gentles and Evert Keller from the Carver Computer and Job Search Center, and they also work in technology assistance, but specifically in the realm of finding a job or getting things you need to get a job prepared. Anyway, so welcome everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Frida, let's start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about where you're from and how you came to work at the Austin Public Library?
Yes, I'm originally from Mexico, from the border town, but I decided to work for the library because I'm actually pretty introverted, and but when it comes to my job and work, I like to see an effect on people, and so I wanted to reach communities that really needed help, so the library I felt was the best place to do that.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what part of Mexico?
I'm from a border town called Miguel Alemán.
Oh, nice. I'm not familiar with that. Is that in Texas border? Or?
Yes, it's in the Texas border. So the city in Texas that's right next to Miguel Alemán is called Roma, Texas.
Oh, okay. I think I have seen that on the map. Mm-hmm. Neat. Well, thanks for coming here. And now, Lance and Evert have both been on the show before. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You were saying, Lance, last time you were on the show, where are you from again?
My family is originally from Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh, that's right.
Stateside, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, New York is my home.
Awesome. And you've been with the library how many years?
I've been in the library going on 10 years.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Big
nice.
1-0, you know what I'm saying? So it's been good to me, you know what I'm saying?
And Evert, hello.
Hey.
Tell us, so how long have you been here at the library?
I've worked for the library for about 7 years now.
Oh my gosh. And where do you come from again?
I grew up originally in a town outside of Fort Worth called Bedford, but I have worked in digital literacy some way or another for like 10 or 12 years now.
Fantastic. And that's really the topic for today is digital literacy and how important it is to make sure that our community has access to the resources and help, using those resources. If our listeners who are just joining us, we are here with Frida Garcia and Lance Gentles and Evert Keller talking about technology help that we have at the Austin Public Library. Frida, can you tell me a little bit about like a day in the life at your job?
Yeah, so my days can be pretty full. Right now, what I do is I set up one-on-one appointments with people who need help with computers or their phone or, getting applications into a computer, people who have never touched a computer before. And I feel that the one-on-one appointments are really, really effective because people get shy in a class when they don't know the answer to something, or like they get intimidated by a computer if they're just like in a room with a bunch of people as well. So the one-on-one appointments really creates this atmosphere of, we care that you get to know this technology. Mm-hmm. So pretty much my days can get filled with one-on-one appointments, which last an hour. So like I'll have an 8-hour day will be 8 different one-on-one appointments plus my lunch break.
Wow.
Yeah, or I get to do outreach as well. So I'll go teach basic computer classes at elementary schools. And today I'm actually going to go to an elderly center to provide phone help for the elderly.
And so this phone help is like technology assistance?
Yeah. So I'll have like a little chair there, and there will be a sign that says, if you have any questions with your phone, here's Frida to help you.
Oh, when you said phone help, I thought you meant over the phone. And I was like, why are you going there? I get it. Help using their phones.
Yes.
Smartphones.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, that totally makes sense now. Cool. So let's take a second to focus on Lance and Everett over here. What kind of things do people come into the Carver Computer and Job Search Center needing help with usually?
Well, a lot of the same things as that they bring in at Ruiz. Our computer lab was originally founded by the BTOP program about 5 or 6 years ago, and there was a focus when it was founded on employment skills and job attainment, and we've sort of retained that in the sort of help assistance that we give people. We offer resume writing, letter polishing, interview preparation, application filling, all of that kind of stuff, career strategies. But in addition to those things, you can get all of the same assistance with your technology that you might at another branch.
Excellent.
And we give like Frida does. We also give one-on-one assistance as well, and any help with like homework. Sometimes if the youth area is full, we'll take some of the kids and help them with their homework as well.
Excellent. And y'all get a lot of traffic at both locations.
That's
I
correct.
mean, just all day long. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Very popular service.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit more about who your customers are and sort of like what what their needs are. Like what for Frida, for example.
Yeah, my customers are usually Spanish speakers because I work out of the Montopolis community. So I have a lot of Spanish speakers. So the fact that I speak mainly Spanish is a plus. And a lot of them don't have an education as well. So, like, for example, today I was working with a woman who loves the fact that she can work with a computer now because it's kind of giving her an incentive to learn to read and write. And it's like a feeling of empowerment for her because she's like, okay, if I learn how to type fast, it's kind of like me learning how to write. So
There you go.
Yeah.
it's
Cool.
great.
Oh wow,
That's awesome.
That's a wonderful story.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And now y'all get job seekers, people doing homework. Sometimes you were telling me people who are trying to reintegrate after coming out of prison over at the Carver.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a certified. It's called a offender employment specialist from the sheriff's department here in Travis County. And so I have all kinds of different services and strategies that I can offer people who have recently returned from period of incarceration if they're seeking employment.
That's awesome.
That's great to know that there are some
Yeah.
options and some people willing to help out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it builds their encouragement.
And
you know.
it's if there are
Support.
any people in that
Exactly.
situation out there listening, it's totally not hopeless. You should come in and see me. We can definitely work things out to give you a better chance.
Exactly. And just remember, coming to our location, it's going to be real laid back. We'll possibly have some Tribe Called Quest in the background, or some beats. I'm telling you, hey, you're gonna come in like, whoa, what is this? This is nice, But
Go hang out, look for a job.
exactly, hang out, look
get
for
some
a
help
job,
with
get
your
some help with
resume.
the resume. You know what I'm saying? Know the
Nice.
newest hits. We'll be all right. Yeah.
Awesome. So Frida, you've organized several programs in your time at the Ruiz Branch. One thing I wanted to ask you about is Tech Chicos. Can you tell me what your vision was with that program?
Yeah, so Tech Chicos is coming up in the last week of June, and I'm partnering with Latinitas, who has a very similar vision than we do. The whole point is to get kids not only exposed to technology, but also like get their hands dirty with it and really, create things using technology. So we're going to have a bunch of different curriculum. One of them will involve virtual reality. We have 360 cameras that Latinitas is bringing over. They're bringing over a 3D printer as well. So we're just going to really get the kids involved in that.
Fantastic. Cool. If you're just joining us, that was Frida Garcia telling us a little bit about some of the technology programs at the Ruiz Branch of the Austin Public Library. So do you guys do over at the Carver and Computer and Job Search Center, Lance, do you guys do classes anymore, or is it all just on a walk-in basis? Or
we do classes from time to time, and we also have one-on-one. Also, we have a gentleman by the name of Sergio, who's part of our three-headed monster.
Oh, yes.
And he's the new guy on the block, and he sets up a lot of our appointments. And he speaks Spanish. And so does Evert as well. And
so y'all got two bilingual folks.
Two bilingual folks. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
And what kind of classes y'all have?
Anything from like interview preparation to how to set up a resume. Just multiple classes in regards to just getting out there in the workforce and building their encouragement to get the job.
We're also developing a series on basic computer skills right now that we're hopefully going to be rolling out sometime very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's talk more about that right after these brief announcements and a little bit about some upcoming programs at the library.
Support comes from Eastside Pies, local pizza with local ingredients. 3 locations around Austin: Eastside off Rosewood, Airport and 53rd, and Anderson Lane. Take out or eat in. Online ordering now available at eastsidepies.com.
My name is Blair Parsons, and I'm a reference librarian at the Falk Central Library. Friday, June 9th, the Spicewood Springs Branch Library will host New York Times bestselling author Ilona Andrews. This 18 and older event will feature a reading from her latest novel, White Hot, a question and answer, and a book signing after. This after-hours event begins at 7 o'clock p.m., Friday, June 9th, at the Spicewood Springs Branch Library. Saturday, June 10th, the Ruiz Branch Library will host Trio Los Vigilantes. They will perform romantic boleros from the Mexican Época de Oro. The concert by Trio Los Vigilantes is from 2 o'clock to 3:30, Saturday, June 10th at the Ruiz Branch Library. The Old Quarry Branch Library's current book club selection is Mikhail Bulgakov's The Master and Margarita. The book club will discuss the book Tuesday, June 13th at 7 o'clock p.m. The Old Quarry Book Club meets the second Tuesday of each month.
You're listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op 91.7 FM and KOOP.org. Radio for people, not for profit.
For those of you just now joining us, this is Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op 91.7 FM and KOOP.org. We're right in the middle of a conversation with Frida Garcia, Lance Gentles, and Evert Keller on the topic of technology and assistants looking for a job and using computers and all sorts of things like that. Welcome back, you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before the break, we were kind of all over the place. We were talking about the types of people that need these sort of services and kind of help crossing the digital divide. And during the break, you were telling me, Lance, that you wanted to mention that. Yeah,
that elderly community come in and want computer assistance. A lot of people come in and they say, I'm computer illiterate, and I don't believe in that. So I want to encourage everybody to come. Everybody from all kind of walks of life and different backgrounds. So,
and on the like employment topic, especially, there's a lot of issues I think that particularly face the elderly community that. A lot of times they feel trapped and they don't really know what to do with things like being told that they're overqualified for positions. But really, there's a lot that you can do about that, and I would be very happy to help you put together strategies to make it so that you hearing that you're overqualified a little less.
That can be a real problem, I've heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ah, great. So In what other ways have y'all been able to assist people? Like, can you give me some examples? Let's go around the room. Let's start with you, Frida. Like, a person, a mother, or a elderly person, or
Yeah.
somebody comes in.
So on Saturdays, I actually have this couple come in, and they've never had a computer before. They've never even touched one. And with them, I'm going over a basic computing book for ESL learners. And it's really great because I see that like a little bit of competitiveness between them gets them like really excited to come every Saturday from Del Valle, Texas. And
Wow.
yeah, it's just like those things like that are what I'm like, this is awesome.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
And so, Lance, do you have an example of a recent interaction?
Like a young man will come into the lab who just like graduated high school and feels like, he doesn't have anything to put on a resume. So, I give him some encouragement, ask him what he did in high school. Like, and he said, I volunteered. And I said, that's great.
That's work.
Volunteer is work. All right. Sure.
Definitely.
There's no doubt about that.
These guys will tell you.
Yeah. I know about that. Right. Yeah, so do I. So, but, he volunteered. I put that on his resume and, I said, hey, in volunteering, you got to have great communication skills and problem solving skills. And he's like, I didn't even know I had that. I said, well, yeah, you do have that. You know what I'm saying? You got a good mouthpiece, you know what I mean? So,
nice.
It boosted self-esteem, and he was ready to go and rock and roll, and he ended up getting a job. So with the city, actually.
That is
so
awesome.
I think he got a job as a scorekeeper, for basketball games, and that was his favorite sport. So, it worked out
That's
great.
great.
Jackpot.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. I'll try to keep mine a little shorter, but there was a woman that came in who was a refugee from Malaysia about 6 months ago, and I helped her fill out an application for HEB to be a sushi chef.
Oh,
that's live.
She came back just a couple of weeks ago and needed me to help her with an application to be the manager for the sushi department at that HEB.
Nice.
Right
I
on.
know, that's what's up.
That just makes me feel so good, you guys. So if people are just now joining us, we are having a conversation about technology assistants at the Austin Public Library. And, we have computers and assistants at all of the library branches. We're just highlighting right now some of the work that Frida Garcia does over at the Ruiz Branch and the Carver and Computer Job Search Center, where Lance Gentles and Evert Keller here work. And we're just kind of telling stories. So let's talk about, the digital divide and like, can y'all break that down for me? Like, what is that? What does that mean?
Well, the way that I frame it is that in today's digital age, a lot of communities who are underserved, who are low income or don't have access to these technologies, get left behind in the job market, in education, and all that. So our job is to help bridge that divide, help them, expose them to technology and also empower them to use it.
Yes.
I mean, there's really massive benefits for society with increasing digital literacy. It increases the amount of skills and participation people can take in the economy, and like their ability to be like part of the greater discussion of society and involved in like finding out about what's going on in the world around them. Those are all things that you need a lot of basic skills with technology to do these days.
And I feel like they have like better interaction, with the young crowd with the older crowd. They can interact a lot better.
And anyone can improve their digital literacy.
That's right.
Definitely,
Yeah,
it does. There's
exactly
no
right.
linguistic boundary that's going to prevent you, and there's no one that's too old or too young to
That's
really
right. They start for real.
start making a difference in that.
And my 2-year-old is running me right now. Sure, my 2-year-old runs me right now, man. Daddy, push this button.
So do you guys foresee this to be like an ongoing community need to have this type of assistance and, technology, bridging this digital divide, what we're talking about?
Well, ultimately,
That's Evert.
what's going to happen, What's going to happen is that we're just through the necessity of having like a touchscreen phone and a computer in your home, basic digital literacy skills for people are going to increase over time, but there will still be a digital divide between people who have access to basic technology and people who have access to more advanced technology.
Absolutely.
So these sort of like public resources where people can access technology and the training to get the skills to use more advanced technology is pretty much going to be something we're going to be contending with for a very long time.
Thank you, Evert. And Lance, if you could say one thing to someone in the public who might be afraid of technology, what would it be?
Come see us. Come see us. Come see us.
We can't say that.
Come see us. No. I will say, you know what? Hey, you know what? Open your eyes, and we're here to encourage people, and we're here to help. And we want everybody to feel, they have a need. So.
That's fantastic. I really want to thank all of y'all for being here today. This is Frida Garcia from the Ruiz Branch and Lance Gentles and Evert Keller from the Carver and Computer Job Search Center. These are all resources that are available at the Austin Public Library, and detailed information is available online at library.austintexas.gov. So now I was wondering, are there any parents looking for fun things to do with their kids this summer? Youth librarians Ann Minner and Michael Harley are going to tell us what the Austin Public Library's got going on for children and teens. Why do I get the feeling they're going to talk about the summer reading program?
This is Ann Minner, youth librarian at the Old Quarry Branch. I get to highlight a few Austin Public Library events happening for children this summer. Austin Public Library has their own puppet troupe called Literature Live, and these talented artists are presenting 2 programs for the summer reading program this year. The first is a puppet show called Wiley and the Hairy Man. In this adaptation of a traditional Southern folktale, a young bio boy named Wiley is challenged to outsmart the Hairy Man, a scary creature who threatens all who come to his swampy home. This show is scheduled at 19 of our branches and is recommended for ages 5 through 10. The second program is a hands-on program called Literature Live Predicts the Forecast, Fantabulous Finger Fun. We supply all the materials, and participants provide the imagination, creativity, and fingers. This crafty program will focus on fantastic finger puppets, demonstrating that even tiny puppets can have a huge personality. This offering is scheduled at the North Village Branch, the University Hills Branch, the Housen Branch, the Terrazas Branch, and the Yarborough Branch. This program is limited to 70 participants. More details about programs and performance times are at austinsummerreading.org.
Hey there, Austin. This is Teen Program Specialist Michael Harley from the Downtown Folk Central Library. Summer is finally here, and we're celebrating with our That's So Fandom summer reading program, exclusively for teens ages 13 to 17. We are letting our geek flags fly with behind-the-scenes explorations of fandom culture. Attendees will get a taste of animation, voiceover, cosplay, and more. That's So Fandom kicks off with the anime manga drawing workshop. Illustrator and artist Brianne Kelly will teach participants how to create their own characters in classic anime designs. Pencils, pens, paper, all of that stuff will be provided. All participants need to bring is their imagination. The anime manga drawing workshop will be happening at the Little Walnut Creek branch on Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. Beyond That's So Fandom, the Austin Public Libraries have come up with lots of other ways to help beat the heat this summer. The popular manga series that inspired the hit anime, Attack on Titan, will be the topic of discussion at the Teen Manga Book Club. In addition to chatting with fellow fans, participants can enjoy snacks, make buttons, and test their knowledge with trivia. The Teen Manga Book Club will be meeting at the Little Walnut Creek branch on Thursday, June 8th at 5:30 p.m. Due to mature content, this program is recommended for ages 13 to 18. We're not just about books at the Austin Public Library, though. We love gaming, too. On Saturday, June 10th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., the University Hills branch is open to all ages for arcade night. 10 gaming systems will be on hand, including the Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 4. In addition, some of your favorite video games will step out of the screen with live-action Pac-Man and Tetris, while other popular games get upscaled with Giant Jenga and Kerplunk. But it's not game over yet. The system-wide Super Smash Bros. Tournament kicks off this week. Players can compete for the championship final at the end of the summer by smashing their opponents, digitally of course, at multiple branch locations. If players don't claim victory at one branch, there are other opportunities to try again for the number one spot. This week, players can try their luck at the Hampton branch on Monday, June 12th at 2 p.m., or at the Terrazas branch on Wednesday, June 14th at 3 p.m. Sign-up begins 30 minutes prior to start time. The first 32 sign-ups are guaranteed to play. More details for these and additional library programs can be found at library.austintexas.gov/events.
Support for Co-op comes from Malvern Books, a local bookstore at 29th and Rio Grande. June's Novel Night celebrates Pride Month with fiction writers Michael Aaron Casares, Lee Thomas, and Maria Limon on Thursday at 7 p.m. More information at malvernbooks.com.
You're listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on KOOP 91.7 FM and streaming at coop.org. We're back in the studio with three wonderful guests, and we're talking about technology assistance. We have Frida Garcia from the Ruiz Branch. We have Lance Gentles and Evert Keller from the Carver and Computer Job Search Center. And let's start with you, Frida. You organized a program recently called Juntos Online, and I just wanted to know sort of like what that experience was like, and what the inspiration was, and I don't know what the turnout was.
Yeah, so I ended up organizing that event as soon as I started working for the library. In one of my networking events, I met Link Clark from Code Interactive, who is an organization that strives to bring computer science to underserved schools. So we got together and we were like, we should just do this scavenger hunt type thing where we just bring technology, because Austin obviously is a very tech-heavy city. We contact all these organizations and see if they want to volunteer their time to just expose kids to new technologies. So we brought that event to different library branches, and we had people from Google Fiverr bringing virtual reality. We had Latinitas. We had Auto, who's a startup that's doing self-driving cars that teaches kids to program the cars. We also had the Texas Advanced Computing Center, and they brought in the Raspberry Pi with some learning neural networks. It was really awesome. So yeah, it was just an event that would expose the kids to new technologies.
And what was the reaction that you got from the families?
The kids loved it, especially the virtual reality. Like, that was the biggest turnout. But I feel like Auto really brought in a learning experience for the kids, because they used Python to program the cars. And it was like the kids could see as soon as they typed in a line of code, the car would react. So yeah, that was amazing. And the neural networks that Uni from TACC brought were also a great turnout. The computer learned to read a number from a piece of paper. So the kids were really amazed by that.
Yeah, I'm amazed
cool.
by that. That's really impressive.
Help I-35 traffic. That'd be cool.
Wonderful. Well, since you're on the mic, Lance, will you talk to me for a second about the kind of help people can get, like finding and applying for a job at the Carver and Computer?
They come in there and they can apply for jobs with the city of Austin. Mm-hmm. Also, like Everett was saying, we can come in and use our scanner. They need to scan some documents to their email right before we set up their email for them.
Full service.
Full service.
Anyone interested in working for the city of Austin that needs help with the application process, the Carver Job Center is a great resource for you, because we can really offer you some very insightful strategies on how to navigate that process.
And it can be a cumbersome process. I'm just going to say that, having done it myself. Right. So it's cool to know that there are people out there to help you out. I guess we're getting towards the end of our time. I want to thank you guys so much for coming. Once again, Lance Gentles, Evert, Keller from the Carver and Computer Job Search Center, and Frida Garcia from the Ruiz Branch. And we've been talking about technology on Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. And next week on the show, we have reference librarian Betsy Blanche, and she's going to be talking to us about the library's graphic novel book club. And then we have a extra surprise guest, Mary Pulowski, I guess it's not a surprise, from Recycled Reads, is going to be on the show telling us a little bit about her role at the library. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Special thanks to our producer, DJ Harris, and to the musicians who composed and performed our original theme song, Andrew Noble on violin, Kirk Duvall on guitar, and Mike Wheat on percussion. And thanks to you, our listeners. Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show, airs Wednesday afternoons at 2:30 on Co-op 91.7 FM and KOOP.org. If you catch us mid-show, full episodes and other details can be found at library.austintexas.gov/volumes.